Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're doing well. My name is Vasta Kawarunji, and guess what? Today with me is an icon. He's an investigative journalist. He's someone I look up to, and most of all, he is a youth. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. Yes, by the way, you always interview other people and you're here to be interviewed.
Yeah. Looking forward.
Yeah. About your recent promotion at work, how do you feel about it?
Well, I feel excited. I think it's an opportunity also for me to administer myself to the world.
Yeah. Yeah. First things first, Canary. Who is Canary Mugume?
Canary is an investigative journalist with NBS TV, a radio show host on Next Radio, producer current affairs, and also just a simple person, really.
Yeah. What's your education background?
Oh, I studied in Mbara, moved here for my A-level, and then graduated at International University of East Africa with an IT degree.
An IT, not mass communication?
No, never studied mass communication.
Yeah. So, Canary, my main emphasis is unemployment among the youth in Uganda. So, that time after school is the most complicated time where in most cases, we stop getting financial support from our parents. Yes, how did you sustain that life after school before you landed your target job?
I think for me, I've been kind of self-sustaining when I was still like 16 or 17. But I guess everyone has moved into that world. Some people born lucky. You don't have to go into it. But I think every person has to go through that stage of life, and it's sort of, there's a certain way it makes you mature and you are able to think through things by yourself. So the more you actually get immersed into, like, it's like a deep end, like getting you and putting you in an ocean, where you try to fight back to get back on top is where you learn the lessons, is where you learn the experience, is where you create the network that is going to be helpful to you.
Yeah. So
I think it's important. I for myself, I started moving around looking for a job on TV stations and etc. I wasn't successful then, but I think what I remember is that I just said, you know what, I'm going to settle for anything just to make sure I get some little money, maybe to buy clothes, be able to move around town and do this and that. But I never gave up on my TV dream. So I just landed on a few gigs doing here and there. I never despised anything. I did everything. And I think from then is when I learned that regardless of what your dream is, you could always start small. I think you can always get there.
So, Canary, what are some of the businesses that you tried out?
I did not really try out a business, but I was employed. I think my first job was a mobile money agent here in Kampala. I worked for Buzz magazine. I worked for Daily Monitor, just a few things, doing this and that, making sure that at least I have some little money in my pocket, move around, and maybe dress good.
Yeah. So you did that as you were still at school?
No, in my vacation. It took me a while before I joined campus.
Do you think it's possible to handle school, then chase your career, or maybe run a business at the same time?
I mean, I've seen people who have done it. I joined NBS Television in my first semester, second year at campus. I've handled both of them. I passed really successfully and also been able to handle the career. I think it's about really planning. When you wake up in the morning, how much time are you devoting to school? How much time are you devoting to your career? How much time are you devoting to yourself? How much time are you devoting to family? And many other things that are within your life. So I think what is most important is the planning. When you wake up in the morning and you plan for your month, it's early September. So this is what I want to do in the month. This is what I want to do in my career. This is how school will look like. Because you see, a human mind is very big. In terms of capacity, it can consume a lot. Just get enough rest, but when you wake up in the morning, plan. This is how I'll handle school. Sometimes it becomes hard to strike a balance because, for example, there are people who study during the day and are also required to be on the job during the day. Lucky for me, my university really said it's all right, you can always do revision. As long as you catch up, we have no problem if you're going to be doing news. Many people, I think that opportunity does not exist. But what exists is that you are able to follow up even the little detail on your career as you do go to school.
All right, thank you for that. I've learned something out of it. Canary, being one of the top successful anchor icons in Uganda, what skills have you used to get where you are right now?
Well, thanks for that kind comment. I don't know if there are any skills, but just simple tactics in life. Being patient, being able to understand that your time will come. You just need to work for it. Being able to work hard and being able to be available to be taught. This is when people really want to teach you how stuff is done, but you're not available. Not that you're too busy, but you don't even see that opportunity that people really want to teach you things. And that opportunity exists amongst all our young people. People want to actually be teaching young people things, but they have to make themselves available, which is very crucial. So I had to make sure I make myself available to the people I look up to the people that I do work with. I had to make sure I'm patient. I'm not going to rush anything. When my time comes, it will come. But also, most importantly, just staying true to myself. I'm not trying to be someone else. I'm just trying to be a better version of myself and not necessarily trying to imitate or trying to live someone else's life. Yeah.
All right. So recently, I saw pics of you when you're in the farm. Then the next morning, we saw you on TV. How do you always balance your career and personal life?
I guess everyone who has a career has a personal life, right? Don't you?
Yeah. But some people fail to handle, like they bring their personal life in the limelight and they mess up.
Yeah, I think it's about personal preferences. What part of your personal life do you want in the public? Because I am able to limit that. Not everything that happens in my personal life is actually seen out there. It's important that you understand that these things, when for example, when you take pictures, they will go on the internet and they will stay 20, 50, 100 years. Even your grandsons and daughters will actually be able to see them. So you have to be very careful what you post and whatever. But also, striking a balance between personal life and career, I think it's an easy thing to do. You just need to learn the skill. The skill is, how do you balance your time? How do you plan ahead? Fine, here is a weekend, so what I'm going to do. But when it comes to Monday, these are the tasks that I'm going to do. What do I need to achieve them? What do I need to make sure I'm on top? I think that is very important. Like, planning has always, for me, been very, very crucial. You have to plan ahead, because how will you land on two things? It's a Monday, you're just coming to work, you don't even know what you're going to do that specific day. You don't even know what time you're going to do it. So I keep a small notebook in my bag. I keep on planning. This is what I'm going to do. These are the people I'm going to call. This is what I want from them. These are some of the things I need to do. These are the tasks. Yeah. This is the priority of the tasks. Most important, second important, least important, like that. And if you planned out your life really well, it seems smooth. Hurdles will come through and all these schedules can be disorganized. But at least you'll never be blamed for not planning.
All right. So time management is essential. Today, unemployment is one of the prevalent socio-economic problems faced by mostly the youth of Uganda. How do you think we can handle the vast unemployment among the youth today?
Being creative. Yeah, you didn't have to wait for a TV job to start a TV show. You're on YouTube and all these various platforms that we're all using. So I think being creative, just look into your creativity and your mind. What can I do? What can I create? This thing, that whatever I'm going to create, whether it's coding to create a software program, whether it's creating a documentary using your camera, whether it's anything on the internet or using Facebook to market or whatever good you want to sell, just look into your mind. So what can I possibly do as me? If you figure that out, I think then you have to start to figure out, how do I make it work? So I think that is one of jobs in Uganda are scarce, and it's not a problem. Maybe problem of the planners. But then, shall we cry every day because jobs are not available? I think that we need to sit back as ourselves, have honest conversations with ourselves, and try to think, what can we possibly do as us? Once you figure that out, then you have to start figuring out, how do you make it work? And in terms of how do you make it work, it has to be in such a way that, how does it pay you? Yeah, otherwise going to one office to the other, looking for a job that can pay you, You could be lucky, but not other 1,000 people would be lucky. Mm.
Do you know one thing I admire about you? Is your confidence.
Thank you.
Where do you always get the confidence?
I guess it's constant practice over and over again. I guess this is where I also began being nervous, unable to speak to the camera. I think constant practice, when you do one thing over and over again, the confidence comes. But you have to be consistent, so consistency.
All right. Being in the limelight, you face a lot of negativity, criticism, and a lot of bad energy. How have you managed to be more resilient?
Well, that's a good question. I think that being able to have the power to control what criticism works for you and what doesn't is essential.
What works for you and what doesn't?
Yeah, because you put out something, for example, on Twitter or do a story and it will be heavily criticized. But does it mean that the story was actually bad or just people did not understand it? But if you have the power to control, is this criticism positive or not? If it's not, maybe take it. I usually take criticism from the people that I do look up to or people that I know are my friends and not to really criticize them for the sake of it. People on social media, I take their criticism with a very with a pinch of salt. I cannot. It's even very hard for me to look through their feedback and believe maybe what they're saying is true, because because social media has given us an opportunity to speak out our minds, but it's not necessarily good to speak out our minds all the time. Sometimes you just need to sit and reflect. So some of this negativity really is born and bred by social media and amplified by the social media that we see. So the negativity and the way it's handled, I think over time I've developed a thick skin that something happens and happens over and over again, that if something ever happened and it's bad, I think I'll be able to live through it. Again, how I do it, ignore, it will pass. Just ignore, it will pass. The more you reply them, the more they reply back. You create a conversation, then it's unnecessarily. And you just let go, be silent, things pass.
Right, thank you. So what are some of the things that you thought were important then, but you found out that they weren't?
In my career?
In your life and your career.
Maybe starting out my career, I thought that I didn't need to be a journalist for me to be an anchor.
You didn't?
I didn't think that I would need to be a journalist first, like to go in the field and report. When I was approached, I just said, no, I just want to go on TV and read news.
That's what I think.
No. So it's the other way around. You have to understand the process of making news. It's not necessarily a mistake, but maybe a misconception. What I had in my head is just go on TV and start reading news. If you can speak English very well, maybe you'll be a great anchor. But that's not it. You have to understand how news is made, the process of making news, be involved in the news process, and that really adds a lot on how you really deliver news on TV. So I had that misconception, and when I was told maybe you're unable to go on TV, then in 2016, you'll only start as a reporter, I was like, maybe my dream, I'll never achieve my dream. But yeah, here we are.
Okay, what of your personal life?
We always thought that, okay, fine, you have one life to live, but I think we go all out when we are young. It's important, but I don't think it's necessary. It should have a limit. We go all in terms of like having, like, you want to live your life because you think you're young and you live only one life. Not that I made mistakes then, but I think that there has to be someone giving you direction. You can have all the fun that you want, but it's important that you have someone giving you direction. Because for me, I thought, I'll never be a teenager again. I'll never be 20 again. I have to live my life now, blah, blah, blah. It's not that automatic. I realized later in life, it's not that automatic. You have to live your life, but responsibly. You have to be able to, at least even at an early age, have someone to give you direction. Because you're doing this, you're doing that. You're taking everything for granted. And there are many people who maybe wish they were you, so you could maybe live that life better. So yeah, that's what I can say.
All right. As a professional investigative journalist, how can investigative journalism be used as a tool to push for respect for human rights in Uganda?
I think by highlighting the different cases where human rights have been abused. Like recently, there was a story on social media, I think 2 days ago, about an brutal arrest of a vice chancellor of a university who happens to be my friend. I just thought that by using all the tools available, get CCTV, highlight the arrests, be able to highlight even the manner of arrest, being able to highlight how everything that was done in a wrong way. I mean, you use that as a tool to bring the case to the limelight. Otherwise, maybe no one would ever care about it. Maybe it would be such a small matter that no one would talk about it. But the more you actually use these tools to bring the case on the spotlight, the more it gets attention, and the more people talk about it, the more the authorities understand that maybe there were mistakes that were made and try to reverse all the mistakes. Yeah.
Right. Canary, in a low but forceful tone, what's your advice to the youth?
I think be patient, keep your integrity, don't sell it for anything, but most importantly, nothing will come on a silver plate. It might take long to come, but it will come if you've worked hard for it. There's no hard work that really goes to waste. So be patient, don't sell your integrity for anything, but most importantly, work hard. The results will always come.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. You're a busy person, but you got me time. Thank you. And for the viewers, thank you so much for watching. I'm sure you learned a lot from Canary's experience, and I'm well certain that you're looking forward to more and more interviews. I'll be doing that for you, but all you have to do is subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend about my YouTube channel, because I have a lot in stock for you. That's all I had for you today. See you next time.